So if you're watching this, you're probably thinking about moving to the state of Idaho. You're curious what the gun laws are like. So in the video, we're going to talk about open carry, constitutional carry. We're going to talk about flamethrowers. We're going to talk about suppressors and concealed carry permits. If you need them, if you don't need them. Hey, if you're new here, my name's Craig Flood, and I make videos each week on this YouTube channel about what it's like to move to the state of Idaho, what it's like to live here, buy real estate here, and do life here. Additionally, I'm a licensed real estate agent with an amazing team and great partners who help people just like you make that transition and relocation to Idaho. You can call, text, or email days, nights, or weekends, and we would love to assist. Be sure to stick around, watch the whole video. We're going to give away one of these bags, and to win it, leave a comment about what was
favorite part of the video, favorite thing that you learned new in the video.
Here, this is our disclaimer.
Legalese, we're not lawyers. So Idaho is one of the looser states in the union for open carry. In the state of Idaho, you do not have to have a permit to open carry, which that's not anything too special. But Idaho also put statutes in to protect anyone from 18 years of age or older to open carry in the state, which is pretty cool because most states don't allow you to unless you're 21.
So an example of open carry is the fact that it is on my person and you can see it. It's not covered, it's not concealed. And then concealed carry obviously is that you can't see it. I'm concealing it, it's on me, but you have no idea if I have it or not.
Which takes us right into the next part, which is constitutional carry, meaning you do not have to have a permit or a license to carry a gun concealed in the state of Idaho. And, super cool fact, you do not have to be a resident to be able to exercise that right. So if you have guys coming here to look at property and they want to carry a firearm while they're here, they're more than welcome to. Fact of the matter is, Idaho's Idaho. Everyone's carrying a gun all the time. If you're going to be able to see it or not, that's a moot point.
Let's talk about concealed carry permits. So prior to this, I lived in Oregon and Washington. In Oregon, I had to get a concealed carry permit. And then you come to Idaho, you don't have to get it. You can conceal without getting the permit. So then the question is, why would I then want to go get a concealed carry permit?
Two main permit types. You have concealed weapons license and enhanced concealed weapon license. A concealed weapons license, you go in, you apply for it, they give it to you. It's over the counter, really quick and easy. An enhanced concealed weapons license is a more formal process. You come to a shop like ours, you do 4 hours of training inside of a classroom, and you do 4 hours of instruction outside the range. The reason enhanced concealed is so beneficial to have is you now have national reciprocity. And there's some states that they look at the Idaho license, the ECWL license, and it trumps what their license requirements are, so you don't have to have a concealed permit for that state. So buying a firearm is federally controlled. Regardless of what state you're in, there are certain parameters you have to hit to be able to own a firearm. Okay. One of those parameters is a 4473. So this is a 4473 background check. People get weirded out because they see the gun information here, so make, model, caliber, serial number. Yep. This is not a form of registration. It's illegal for the government to use this as a form of registration. So you're literally doing the background check on you, and then they're making sure that your parameters, your age, fall within what firearm you're buying. Because federally, 18-year-old kids cannot buy a pistol.
So they can have it on them, but they can't buy it.
Weird, right? This is where Idaho and a lot of other states separate. Idaho's like, screw it. They're old enough to go join the military. They're old enough to defend our country. They're old enough to carry a firearm.
Makes sense.
Fed's like, gotta be 21.
Hey, I just wanted to pause for a second. If you're serious about getting moved to Idaho, then reach out. I can do a consultation with you. We can figure out how we can best help. And ideally, probably help you plan a scouting trip where you come here for 3 to 4 days to see what it's like and to see if it's going to be a good fit. Call, text, or email, days, nights, or weekends. We're here for you.
No matter what state you live in the United States, if you're buying a firearm from a FFL, which is a licensed designation, which is your local gun shop, you have to have a background check. Some states require you to do a background check for a private party transfer. So if you had a gun that you wanted to sell, I'm your buddy, and you're like, hey man, you want to buy my old Glock? I said, yes. If we lived in a certain state, we would possibly have to go to a shop like this to do the background check. Idaho, you don't have to do that. The big issue with Castle Doctrine is it's referenced a lot as being like a permit to kill. It's really not. It's the umbrella of the laws that govern how you protect yourself is the best way to think about it. Yeah. Castle Doctrine, like by definition, applies when someone's using force or attempting to enter a home, place of business, or occupy a vehicle in an unlawful manner. This includes entry by force, violence, stealth, or with the intent to commit a felony. So it's pretty slippery. How much of that information are you going to get in a split second like that?
So how do you think about this?
What we advocate for in the store is there's insurance for a reason. So if they're breaking into your car to steal your radio, I'm going to do an insurance claim. I'm going to pay my deductible. I'm a brand new radio, so I really don't care. At the end of the day, my most important value is my family and getting home to my family, being able to provide for my family. The house situation gets a little bit sketchy because we both have kids in the house, as we talked about. Where do you draw the line for that? For the most part, what we always advocate is always retreat back. Anytime that you start acting like Rambo, and we see a lot of these movies, Law-Abiding Citizen, and all these other movies where you see the vigilantism thing. Anytime you open up for an altercation inside of any kind of setting for a defensive situation, you are now possibly losing. And that's something people forget. Just because it's your house, just because you have the advantage, just because you have the higher ground because you're upstairs and they're downstairs breaking in, does not mean you're going to win. At the end of the day, if you pass away from that altercation, what does that mean for your family? Pretty heavy stuff, but it's stuff that we really want to take into consideration here. And this is what we kind of be more thought-provoking in the shop here. We want to tell people the things that people don't want to talk about. We want to challenge people's idea of what Rambo is, that mentality of like, I own a firearm and I can protect myself and kill anyone that comes in my house. Like, just pump the brakes, man.
All right, now let's talk about gun ownership and gun violence in Idaho.
Overall, 338 deaths in the state of Idaho that were firearm related. Now, seems like a pretty big number, but out of that, 285 were suicides. A lot of these national ranking sites have Idaho as a high gun violence crime state. Whenever you hear gun violence, always be cautious on what numbers they're referencing, because usually there's a hook. They're trying to trick you. They want to get you to believe something that's not there. Like, that's a prime example. 285 suicides is pretty crazy for 338 deaths.
Why would somebody want a suppressor?
Because the government doesn't want you to own one. They make it really hard. So we've made the process super easy by doing everything for you guys. Number 2, teaching and instructing. A lot of us have kids, as you've mentioned, you have kids. New shooters, when they're shooting suppressed, is infinitely easier. They don't have to use hearing protection in most applications if you're running a good suppressor. So you're talking to them like we're talking now. I'm actually talking louder than I talk to my kids when they're shooting suppressed. Another big thing with suppressors is it helps mitigate recoil. So wives, younger children that are shooting larger calibers, maybe you're going on a hunt for an elk. You use a suppressor, you're getting a faster follow-up shot, you're getting more mitigated recoil. So it's actually watering down and taming that cartridge rather than it would be without a suppressor.
Let's talk about this. It is thought that suppressors can be built without a tax stamp if it says made in Idaho on them.
No. Each suppressor you buy has a federal tax stamp on it. The ATF charges a consumer $200 for the right to own a suppressor. It's a one-time fee. It's a one-time stamp. There's big talks in Idaho and Texas that if the suppressor is made in Idaho, as long as it's an Idaho manufacturer, you buy it over the counter without a federal tax stamp. That is false. They cannot say that. You cannot do that. Anyone that says that does not know law. The laws for NFA items, which is National Firearms Act, which are suppressors, are governed federally, not locally. They're not states.
All right, now what you guys have all been waiting for and you didn't even know you were waiting for it. We're going to talk about flamethrowers.
I've heard that if you put race fuel in it, it shoots up to 60 feet. It's not regulated. There's no background check. There's no tax stamp. There's no nothing. You come in and buy it like it's a bag of pinto beans. This guy works for Elon Musk. He's super cool dude. Came in and bought one. He put race fuel in there, went to go shoot it, pulled the trigger. He was about 40 feet away from the tree and just kind of burning it. Shot and hit the tree and lit the tree on fire like a... But these things are cool, man. We get guys buying them around this time of the year. They have some that'll mount on the bottom of your AR now. So you'll have a flamethrower built onto your AR.
Well, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're curious to see another one, watch this video next where I do the pros and cons on Boise, Idaho. I'll see you guys in the next video.